The fate of 18,000 same-sex couples will be decided here in California today. The state Supreme Court is expected to hand down their decision on whether same-sex marriage is legal. Early Show national correspondent Hattie Kauffman reports.
The legality of gay marriage in California now rests with the state Supreme Court.
The government doesn't tell us who to date and who to marry, as I sometimes say. My Aunt Sadie can tell me her opinion about who I should date, but not my Uncle Sam.
It wasn't Uncle Sam, it was voters in California who passed Prop 8 last fall, defining marriage as a union between a man and a woman. Reaction from gay activists was swift and loud. Protesters filed an appeal with the state Supreme Court, but advocates of traditional marriage say they have no business judging the issue.
The will of the people needs to be upheld. We have spoken twice, overwhelmingly, and if they overturn it again, we're coming after them.
With legal challenges expected in other states as well, everyone's watching to see what happens in California. Hattie Kauffman, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Joining us from San Francisco is Kate Kendall, Executive Director of the National Center for Lesbian Rights. Good morning, Kate.
Good morning, Julie.
What do you expect to happen today with Proposition 8?
Well, you know, it's notoriously difficult to predict what a court might do with any issue that's before it, but there are two main issues. The first is, what about Prop 8? Was it validly adopted by the voters? Our argument is that it wasn't. It needed to go through the legislature first. And then secondly, if Prop 8 is upheld, what do you do with these 18,000 couples who legally, validly married during the period of time that it was legal in California between June and November of last year? I believe, as to the second issue, those marriages will be upheld, regardless of whether the court upholds Prop 8, because they can't apply it retroactively. We believe the law is just so clearly in favor of validating those marriages. But if they uphold Prop 8 and thereby say that no other couple can marry in California, and this ban to eliminate these rights was legally adopted, that will be devastating for couples in California who simply want what everyone wants, to have their commitment validated and to have their family protected.
So let's take it to the worst place from your stance. Let's say they do uphold Prop 8. What are you and what is your organization prepared to do if that happens?
Well, you know, the only way that you could get rid of Prop 8 if it were upheld by the court is to go back before the voters. And even though that seems like a very daunting task, keep in mind that just since March of this year, just since this case was argued before the California Supreme Court, there are now 4 additional states that either by a court ruling, in the case of Iowa, or legislatively, and then with a governor's signature, recognize marriage between same-sex couples. So clearly public opinion is moving in a direction of inclusion and justice and fairness. And if we have to go back before the voters to repeal Prop 8, I believe that we will be successful in moving hearts and minds. People just have to understand this issue is about humanity.
Yeah. We'll have to stay tuned and see what happens. Kate Kendall from the National Center for Lesbian Rights, thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you, Julie.